Hey kids, Ethan. Coming to you live from PCH. I'm actually en route to go do some Body Beast. I am 28 years old. I'm single. I live on the Pacific Coast Highway right by the ocean. And I've been an officer in the United States Navy for about 5 years. Getting ready to get out now. And I love coaching. I love P90X. I love Body Beast. I love working out in general. And Beachbody kind of helped me work out more intelligently and for a purpose, and helped me kind of find my passion for fitness competing. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why I'm coaching now. I guess you could say that I kind of got led into coaching based on my experience in the military. I first saw my first P90X DVD in Iraq in 2008, and I've been hooked on it ever since. But the coaching component was really the importance of the coaching component was really impressed on me even before I even heard about coaching back in 2011. I was on deployment when there was almost a government shutdown, and sailors and officers aboard my ship, which was, by the way, an aircraft carrier that was running combat ops over Afghanistan every single day, got word that in the event of a government shutdown, we were not going to be paid. We would have, ultimately gotten paid back when the federal budget was fixed, but there was really no guarantee as to when that was going to be. Now, for me, that wasn't such a big deal because I was and still am single. And I didn't really have anybody that depends on me for some financial support, except for myself, thank God. However, I got young sailors who work for me and work with me, who are married with young children, whose households depend on their ability to bring home a paycheck, especially when they're deployed. And now it looked like they weren't going to be able to do that. And it's not like they could, stop work or do anything about it either. I mean, these guys were completely powerless. We were literally having meetings to determine how to contain a riot, if there was one. Now, thankfully, there was no riot, there was no shutdown, and our guys ended up getting paid. But the fact that we came that close really impressed on me the importance of not doing what I've been doing for, I'm afraid to admit this, essentially my entire adult life, which is draw a salary from Uncle Sam. Now, for most of that time, I've been in the U.S. military, and prior to that, I was an interpreter in Iraq. So I like to think that most of what I've been doing, professionally, has served a purpose, and is justified by what I've been getting paid. But justified or not, Uncle Sam can't afford me. Can't afford a lot of things, and I think Danny Johnson said it pretty well, that it's a really dumb idea to look for your fiscal savior in Washington, D.C. Now, this fact really hit home, not on my ship, but on the ship that was going out to relieve mine. I was deployed aboard an aircraft carrier called the USS Carl Vinson, which played an interesting part in history, which we won't talk about now. But we were actually being relieved by the USS Ronald Reagan. But that relief didn't take place for about a month and a half, because while the Reagan was en route to relieve the Vinson, there was a crisis in Japan. There was a tsunami, and the USS Ronald Reagan, which was out in the Pacific, was diverted to be our flagship for humanitarian assistance and disaster relief in Japan. Now, this is awesome, but, however, what the Japanese didn't tell us, or what wasn't communicated until it was too late, was that tsunami had caused a rupture in the Fukushima nuclear reactor, resulting in thousands of tons of nuclear waste to be dumped right into the Pacific, right where the Reagan was sailing right through. So the U.S. naval warship carrying 7,000 sailors and officers was sailing straight through a radioactive cloud, which poisoned the living crap out of 7,000 people leading to a significant portion of them being afflicted with radiation poisoning related illnesses, many of which are life-threatening and indeed life-ending. So out of 7,000 people, tens of hundreds of them are have been medically discharged from the service. And a lot of them are too sick even to leave their beds right now. And they're lying on hospital beds, and you better believe Uncle Sam, now that they're not in the Navy, Uncle Sam is not paying their medical bills. And so now they're stuck fending for themselves. And this really hit home for me because I actually almost had been assigned to the Reagan. My squadron had actually been part of a carrier air wing that was on the Reagan. But that carrier air wing got decommissioned and reorganized, and my squadron got sent to a new carrier air wing on the Vincent. But if that order hadn't come through, I would have been on the USS Ronald Reagan when she sailed through that nuclear cloud. And so every time I hear about a sailor lying on their deathbed with inoperable tumors, or a female sailor who's had a series of miscarriages, or a young healthy guy who's now got seizure disorders, I see myself. And the one thing that I want to do as a Beachbody coach is empower myself to be free of concern over Uncle Sam's fiscal sanity, at least in terms of my ability to take care of myself. And I also want to serve as a resource to empower other members of the service, so that nobody is ever left behind like that again. So I guess that's my real why right now. And from now until I ever stop coaching, half of the revenue I ever take in as a coach is going to be donated to the families of those service members. Because there's never, I don't care what lawyers say, I don't care what the government says. Those guys were afflicted by radiation poisoning by virtue of the fact that they went and did their job. And I believe I owe it to them. I believe that we as a country owe it to them to give them a little bit better treatment than this. And I can't really do anything about what Uncle Sam says or what lawyers say, but I can do plenty about what I do. And part of my biggest why is to A, help take care of my people, and B, empower more of my people to take care of themselves. So thanks for listening, and let's go bring it!